Hello students, welcome to the lecture on strategic organizational behavior. After this lecture, you will be able to learn the following objectives. Understand concept of strategic organizational behavior, discuss the basic elements of strategic organizational behavior, understand foundation of a strategic approach to organizational behavior, explain the role of human capital in creating competitive advantage, understand positive organizational behavior (POB), discuss high involvement management. Now let us know more about concept of strategic organizational behavior. The organizational behavior field focus on the individual and or small groups as a unit of analysis in an organizational context. Specific emphasis is placed on cross-cultural and intercultural implications of organizational behavior in the global environment. The strategy field is designed to increase the understanding of ways in which organizations function and of the factors that contribute to firm performance. The study of a company's external environment, strategic resources and capabilities, and the organizational internal structure form the foundation for analyzing management decisions that have a fundamental impact on the organization. Concept of strategic organizational behavior. Now let us know about concept of strategic organizational behavior.
We're going to take a look at organizational behavior. In this lecture series, we're going to look at the foundation competencies. And the first foundation competency is self-competency. We're going to look at communication competency. We're going to look at diversity competency, ethics competency, a cross-cultural competency, team competency, and we're going to summarize it with change competency. Let's take a look. First of all, self-competency, which is the overall ability to assess your own strengths and weaknesses and set and pursue professional and personal goals, balance work and personal life, engage in new learning, including new or modified skills and behaviors and attitudes. So when we talk about foundation abilities and self-competencies, we want to understand your personality and attitudes, perceive and appraise, interpret, understand work-related motivation and emotions. What is involved in the emotions? Assessing and establishing developmental life-related and work-related goals. Taking responsibility for managing yourself and your career. Back in the 80s when I worked for General Motors Corporation, we had a department, which was Human Resource Department, and they were involved in managing our career. You fast forward to 2008, and all individuals should be in charge of managing their careers. Communication competency, the overall ability to use all modes of transmission, understanding, receiving, ideas, thoughts, feelings, verbal, listening, nonverbal, written, and electronic. And when you think about the foundation abilities in the communication competency, conveying information, ideas, and emotions to others, providing constructive feedback to others, engaging in active listening, using and interpreting nonverbal communication, engaging verbal communication effectively, engaging in written communication effectively, and of course the use of a variety of computer-based information resources. When you think about our text messaging systems and our different communication systems, you have to be an expert in all of those systems. Now we're going to take a look at diversity competency. What is diversity competency? Well, diversity competency is the overall ability to value unique individual group characteristics, embrace such characteristics as potential sources of organizational strength, appreciate the uniqueness of each individual. And it also involves the ability to help people work effectively together, even though their interests and background may be quite diverse. Foundation abilities and diversity competency. Fostering an environment of inclusion, learning from others' differences, supporting diversity, working with others because of their talents and contributions, providing leadership in addressing diversity, applying diversity laws, regulations, and policies. And if you think about our categories of diversity, we have primary categories and we have secondary categories. In our primary categories of diversity, we have age, race, gender, physical abilities and qualities. And in our secondary categories, we have education, work experience, income, marital status, religious beliefs, and geographical locations. Our next competency is ethics competency. An ethics competency is our overall ability to incorporate values, principles that distinguish right from wrong in making decisions and choosing behaviors. Foundation abilities in ethics competencies: identifying and describing ethical principles, assessing the importance of ethical issues, applying laws, regulations, and rules in making decisions, taking action, demonstrating dignity and respect for others, being honest and open in communication. Across cultural competencies: the overall ability to recognize and embrace similarities among nations and cultures, and then approach key organizational and strategic issues with an open and curious mind. Foundation abilities of cross-cultural competencies: understanding, appreciating the unique cultural characteristics, appreciating influence of work-related values, understanding and motivated employees with different values and attitudes, communicating in the local language, effectively working with those from foreign countries, utilizing a global mindset. That is key in a cross-cultural competency, utilizing a global mindset. Team competency: the overall ability to develop, support, and facilitate or lead groups to achieve organizational goals. And when we think about our foundation abilities and team competency, we're thinking about determining the use and fit of a team, setting clear performance goals, defining responsibility and task, and demonstrating accountability for goal achievement, applying decision-making methods, resolving conflicts, assessing performance, and taking corrective action as needed. And this is all involved in the team competency. If you understand the team competency, you should have all of these foundation abilities. Our last category of competency is change competency, which is the overall ability to recognize and implement needed adoptions of entirely new transformations in people, tasks, strategies, strengths, or technologies. Foundation abilities and change competency: applying other 6 competencies in the pursuit of needed changes, providing leadership of planned change, diagnosing the pressures and resistance to change, and you're always going to have resistance to change, and applying the system and mode and processes to facilitate change. Dealing with the new knowledge to facilitate change is also a big key.
Organization are social system. If one wishes to work in them or to manage them, it is necessary to understand how they operate. Organization combines science and people, technology and humanity. Unless we have qualified people to design and implement, techniques alone will not produce desirable results. There is no idealistic solution to organizational problems. All that can be done is to increase our understanding and skills so that human relations at work can be enhanced. Organizational behavior is a field of study that investigates the impact that individuals, groups, and structure have on behavior within organization. It is the study and application of knowledge about how people act within organization. It applies broadly to the behavior of people in all types of organization such as business, government, schools, and services organization. It covers 3 determinants of behavior in organization: individuals, groups, and structure. Organization is a purposeful system with several subsystems where individuals and activities are organized to achieve certain predetermined goals through divisions of labor and coordination of activities. Basic elements of strategic organizational behavior. You must have understood by now that some of the most important resources for businesses and other types of organization include technologies, distribution systems, financial access, patents, and the knowledge and skills of people. Coming specifically to organizational behavior, I would like to mention that it involves the actions of individuals and groups in an organizational context. Moreover, managing organizational behavior focuses on acquiring developing and applying the knowledge and skills of people. An organization might have exceptionally high quality products and services, excellent customer service, best in class cost structure, or some other advantage, but all of these are outcomes of the capabilities of the organization people, its human capital. Individual, interpersonal and organizational factors determine the behavior and the ultimate value of an organization people. A strategic approach to organizational behavior requires understanding how individual, interpersonal and organizational factors influence the behavior and value of an organization people, where value is reflected in productivity, satisfaction and ultimately the organization competitive advantages and financial success. The importance of using a strategic lens. The significance of developing a strategic outlook can be understood as senior managers have commonly been referred to as strategic leaders. However, exercising strategic leadership is not a function of one's level in the organization, rather, it is a matter of focus and behavior. Strategic leaders think and act strategically, and they use the skill noted above to motivate people and build trusting relationships to help implement the organization's strategy. Effective middle managers spend much of their time campaigning strategic ideas with senior managers and helping the firm to remain adaptive. They also play an important role in implementing the organization's strategy. They serve as champions of the strategy and work with other middle managers and lower level managers to build the processes and set them in motion to implement the strategy. Effective lower level managers spend a great deal of their time coaching the firm's associates, a term for their workers who carry out the basic tasks, 5 skills in teaching, listening, understanding, personalities and managing stress are among the most important for performing these activities. Lower level managers also remove obstacles for associates and deal with personal problems that affect their work. Foundations of a strategic approach to organizational behavior. There are certain facts that can be tagged as the foundation or the real basic towards development of a strategic approach to organizational behavior. The field builds on behavior science discipline, including psychological, social psychological, sociology, economics and cultural anthropology. Second, it focuses on behaviors and processes that help to create competitive advantages and financial success. The strategic approach to OB integrates important behavior science knowledge within an organizational setting and emphasizes application. This knowledge cannot be obtained from information derived independently from other specialized fields, psychology, economics and the like. A working knowledge of OB helps manager gain the confidence required to empower associates and work with them to find creative solutions to problems that arise. Definition of an organization. OB is focused on organization and what happens inside them. This is important because organizations are a key part of modern society. Although it is sometimes difficult to define the term organization precisely, most people agree that organization is characterized by these features: network of individuals, system, coordinated activities, division of labor, goal orientation, continuity over time regardless of change in individual membership. The role of human capital in creating competitive advantage. Although human capital is crucial for competitive advantage, not all organizations have the people resources needed for success. The degree to which human capital is useful creating through competitive advantage is determined by its value, rareness and imitability. Value. The value of human capital can be defined as the extent to which individuals are capable of handling the basic work of an organization. Rareness human capital. Rareness is the extent to which the skill and talents of an organization people are unique in the industry. In some cases, individuals with rare skills are hired into the organization. Imitability. Human capital imitability is the extent to which the skills and talents of an organization people can be copied by other organizations. Overall potential for competitive advantage. For human capital to be the basic for sustainable competitive advantage, it must satisfy all three conditions discussed earlier. It must be valuable for executing an organization's strategy, it must be rare in the industry, and it must be difficult to imitate. An organization that hires individuals with valuable but common skill does not have a basic for competitive advantage because any organization can easily acquire those same skills. Positive organizational behavior, POB. Positive organizational behavior represents the study of how positive emotions relate to employee performance in the workplace. It explores how positive psychology applies to the work environment and how employees can be taught to improve their positive psychological resource capacities. Researchers have discovered that the employees who possess hope spend energy on meeting goals and using willpower to face challenges. Optimism allows a person to internalize events and see negative events as temporarily and linked to outside situation, whereas pessimism promotes failure according to positive organizational behavior studies, but optimism can be learned and measured and impacts how a person performs in the workplace. Teaching positive organizational behavior leads to better job satisfaction, work happiness, and commitment to the company, the theory states. Studies conducted on positive organizational behavior show the capacities of hope, resilience, and optimism create motivated employees and affect their professional attitudes. High involvement management. Lucky are those who get in contact with high engagement management. If the management is deeply interested in engaging, then obviously it would put a positive impact on the productivity of the employees and overall growth of the organization. High involvement management requires that senior, middle, and lower level managers all recognize human capital as the organization's most important resource. 5 key characteristics of high involvement management have been identified, which are selective hiring. Sound selection systems are the first crucial characteristic of the high involvement approach. Without selecting the right people, an organization cannot expect delegated authority and information to be used properly. Extensive training. Training is the second vital component of high involvement management. Without proper training, new hires cannot be expected to perform adequately, and even when new hires are well trained for a position, it is important to help them build skills and capabilities beyond those needed in their present position. Decision power. The third key dimension of high involvement management is decision making power, providing associates with the authority to make some important decision while inviting them to influence other decisions. Information sharing. The fourth characteristic of high involvement management is information sharing. In order for associates to make effective decisions and provide useful inputs to decisions made by managers, they must be properly informed. Incentive compensation. The fifth and final dimension of high involvement management is incentive compensation. This type of compensation can take many forms, including the individual piece rate system, individual incentive system, knowledge or skill-based pay. Summary. Now in the end, let us summarize what we have learned in the lecture. The strategic approach to organizational behavior involves knowledge and application of how individual, interpersonal and organizational factors influence the behavior and value of an organization's people, where value is reflected in productivity, satisfaction, and ultimately the organization competitive advantages and financial success. An organization is formally defined as a collection of individuals whose members may change over time, form into a coordinated system of specialized activities for the purpose of achieving certain goals over some extended period of time. High involvement management is an important method for developing and leveraging human capital. This approach has 5 key components: selective hiring, extensive training, decision power, information sharing, and incentive compensation. Collectively, these 5 aspects of high involvement management yield empower workers. The effectiveness of high involvement management is supported by strong evidence in studies of the steel, automobile, and semiconductor industries. Among many others, high involvement management has been found to positively affect productivity, satisfaction, financial success, and competitiveness. Human capital can be a source of competitive advantage for an organization when it has value, it is relevant for the organization's strategy, rareness, skills, and knowledge are possessed by relatively few outside the organization, and low imitability. Other organizations cannot easily duplicate the skills and knowledge. These 3 characteristics set the stage for advantage. For human capital to actually be a source of competitive advantage, it must be managed effectively.